Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Pointless Exercise podcast. It's the off season, but the Cubs never sleep. Whatever, I don't know. So we're gonna talk Cubs with Oleg and Praz. Guys, how are you?
Hello. Doing well, Andy.
If I will say, if Judd doesn't sleep, it certainly explains a lot.
For those of you who are watching, there's not one, but now there's two books that you have to buy. I can't fit them in the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
The 0304 book has arrived at my house, so I can look at it. And then the 2016 book, The Immortals, is on sale. Oh, I got too excited to hit my microphone. It's on sale on Friday. So Friday the 14th, you can run to your local Amazon and you can buy The Immortals. And then on the 21st, you can run back and you can buy Great Until It Wasn't, which is about the 0304 Cubs. And or you can wait until 21st and you can just buy both, and you can buy multiple copies, and it covers are nice. You could buy a bunch and wallpaper a bathroom with them if you want. I don't mind. Do whatever you want.
I only buy books from Marshalls and TJ Maxx when will they be available there.
I did check the book so that Amazon can sell these books to retailers and other online outlets. So I'm sure you're going to go into your local bookstore and it's just going to be a wall of these.
I don't see how there could be. Well, there won't be a wall of them because I'm sure they'll sell out very quickly.
I was gonna have you been asked by anyone to do a personal book signing or anything yet?
No, I'm surprised. I'm just going to go over to the local Barnes and Noble here with a box of them and set up a card table on the sidewalk in front. A cash box. You want to buy one of these? What is that? Who are you? What is this?
Yeah.
Go away.
Who are you?
Where is ice when you need them? Dan Bovino, or is that his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was getting confused with Dan Bongino, but is he going to come over and pepper spray me and try to steal the books?
Dude, that guy looks like he's like smaller than I am.
Yeah. Well, they're leaving for the winter. Did you see that?
They're out of Chicago. One cold day in Chicago. Like, that's it. We're out.
They're going to be back in March.
It's too cold for ice.
Coming back in March. Like, you ever
Too
been here in
cold
March?
for ice.
You don't want to come back in May. If that's we don't even want to live here in March.
God.
Anyway.
It does kind of it does kind of make sense since the Germans fled the Soviet. Well, it wasn't Soviet. I guess it was the Soviet Union. The Germans fled the Soviet Union right as soon as it got cold there.
Yeah.
So same thing here. Nazi's gonna Nazi.
Well, it's funny. They're finally dressed for the weather.
Yeah, right. The mass and everything. Yeah, you think they'd be great in this?
I don't know why it made me think of this, but I watched the Frankenstein that's on Netflix. It's a new one, the Guillermo del Toro one. Mm-hmm. And there is a scene where the creature is with the blind guy, and when he ran out of the house, I was so disappointed that they didn't have the guy playing the blind guy go, I was going to make espresso, but they didn't. The general manager meetings are happening right now in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of wheeling and dealing happening down there.
Sure, so there's a lot of rumors coming out. Well, a few. And
Jed is down there, and
he's not in the meetings though. He's just there.
I was gonna say, why is Jed down there? Is it the general manager's meeting?
Yeah, it's actually. Dave Brown and I talked about this a little while ago. They need to. What I want baseball to do is get rid of the general manager title officially, so that we can just generically refer to whoever the asshole is who makes the trades as the general manager. So I don't have to know who's a vice president of baseball operations, who's the president of baseball operations, or whatever. Because honestly, that's what the general manager meetings means, is just bring all your dorky front office guys down and we're going to have some meetings. That's what it means.
Yes.
So they're all down there. But I don't know, do we know, did Carter ever get a new contract? He didn't get a job. I'm sure he's still there.
Yeah, I don't. Who would know? I'd put a camera. Until they put a camera in front of them.
And I'm shocked. Are all the managerial jobs filled now? Does anybody still have? Oh, the Rockies don't have one yet.
Jesus
Christ.
That
David Ross's last chance.
Oh,
did he play for the Rockies?
Poor soul.
I don't think so. He played for everybody else. I
Yeah.
don't think he played for the Rockies.
That organization is so back. Like it's
Well,
why would they hire Paul DePodesta?
I was
Because
just going to say, does David Ross have any connection to the Moneyball A's or the before that Cleveland Indians
or
for
the
Paul
Cleveland
DePodesta?
Browns?
Yeah, or the Cleveland
Browns.
I mean,
Yeah.
more likely the Browns.
And he's been there. I didn't realize he's been there for 10 years already.
Well, they had narrowed it down to two, like, regular candidates who then both withdrew.
Yeah. Well, as soon as he interviewed with that damn owner,
Yeah.
with Paul Monfort.
And they're like,
Yeah,
and they're like, all right, well, fine. We'll just take this guy. I just thought his name was Peter Brand.
Yeah,
Who's-
right.
That's the Moneyball.
Well,
no.
that was the character in Moneyball that represented Paul DePodesta.
Oh, I got you. All right.
Anyway, poor Rossi. Gonna have to sit out another year. I don't know how our teams can resist the urge to bring in that genius, but they have.
Don't worry. The everyone will see what he does as bench coach in the WBC for Team USA, and they'll be lined up outside his front door to hire him.
They'll be pulling reverse Jeds and firing their man.
Jed may watch it and be
There
like,
you go.
"Oh, we made such a mistake," and then fire counsel during spring training and bring Rossi over.
That's a really good segue because it still blows my mind how both forward thinking and backwards Judd Hoyer can be at the same time. And I'm sure that all of it is massaged by the accountants and by Ricketts' desire to hoard money. But it's like it's such good, like, you give him credit for all the stuff that he's done, and then it's still so not enough.
His grand plan is about to be put into action, though, a year from now, when the Cubs are the only team without a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's what you wrote. Like it's the wrong thing to do when because you're right. There's about a 3% chance I give it of, and if the players do, like they're gonna have to give up. They're gonna have to move up to like 52% of revenue share for the players. Right? What
Yeah.
is it at 45 or so? Like in order for the players to even come close to accepting it, and there's no way that the owners will give it up because that would defeat the purpose. And and the thing is that I don't know why the owners would push for it, because other than the Dodgers, and who gives a shit, like if there's one team or two teams or three teams that are spending all this money, means 27 or not, and there's an artificial salary cap as it is because the
There is.
owners don't want to spend as it is.
Right.
So
They treat the luxury tax like it's a salary cap, so they don't need a salary cap.
Right. They don't need a salary cap. And so the idea of them losing money or losing any, like, the only reason to have it is so that they miss out on a year of paying the players, because the TV contracts are in such flux and anyway, that it doesn't seem to matter. Like, the only way to have a lockout is just simply because the owners want it to be that way.
Yes.
And they don't want to pay they're going to spend 6 months not paying the players or whatever, going into the season, because they don't play.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how much of the season they're willing to torch. Because the TV contracts are up after 28.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult to just not have a 27 season and then
Yeah, I
expect
guess
you're actually going to get real money after 28, because ratings will be down, attendance will be down.
Yeah. I mean, that might be the only bright spot.
That's why I still think and this is just me, but I still think there's a chance that the owners will propose a shorter than normal CBA after next season,
just to get through
to try to get a bridge past the TV things. And if you're the players, I wouldn't do it then, because that's clearly they'll have this little war chest built up.
Yeah. But the players can plan for it all. I mean, I don't know. I wish Marvin Miller were still alive.
Is there somebody mowing their?
I'm not even playing with my usual cap.
I'm not. I don't know.
But it does kind of sound like. Hang on.
It's like a wood chipper. And I don't know.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm not far from the furnace where I'm.
If it's a naturally occurring sound, fine.
Yeah.
Was it like some weird technical thing? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my whole. And they've they've cleared the books so efficiently. Literally, Dansby is the only player on a non-entry level guaranteed contract in 2027 right now, because everybody else is a free agent after next season. There are 3 guys with buyouts: Boyd, Carson Kelly, and Colin Ray. Who the buyout total is $3.5 million bucks. So when you take Dansby's 28, and then the $3.5 million for those guys, then it's just whatever the minimum salaries are you have to pay Pete and Shaw and Bush and those guys. There's no money on that. So you would think that even with that strategy of, okay, we want to be as lean as possible for 27, that they should be able to take advantage of what is the year before a CBA is always hard on free agents. The top guys always get paid, but everybody else suffers. And they really should be able to relatively efficiently go shopping. But I just have a hunch that they're not going to want to shop for anybody who actually wants a second, like, real year on a contract.
Well, it's not even a second real year. They haven't given out anything more. Like, I feel if they were a real team, what they would do is they would go out, they would sign Bregman, they would trade Shaw for a controllable starter and sign another top starter. Like Framber Valdez, trade for Gore, or Cabrera, or whatever, or Alcantara, and then go out and sign Bregman. If they were a real team that would improve the team, fine. Shaw, you got to trade him. You trade him for the pitcher, for a controllable pitcher, and you're off and running, and you're good.
I'd also add to that too that you're hearing a little bit with like rumors about a PCA extension. You'd think if they're really like trying to set themselves up to spend after the lockout, which, I don't know if you trust that word or not. Why not right now try to sign some of the young guys you have to like the type of deals the Atlanta Braves did where, they bought out like their arbitration years. And that way, you have all this extra room come, when you have a new CBA to
Well, there's
to
Praz, there's 2 things. I think there's 2 things that are going to keep that from happening. One, the Braves did that with their players down from Latin America, so they don't have the the bonus that PCA got, or kind of PCA doesn't need to sign it. He doesn't need life-changing money.
Isn't Michael Bush from Guadalajara?
Might be.
Miguel Bush.
Are you saying that all the Cubs are white college guys?
Well,
I guess Pete didn't go to college. He was going to go to Vanderbilt, but he got bought out of it.
What I'm saying is that PCA doesn't necessarily have to do this, right? Like for Albies or for Acuna, like this was literally money that took their families. Like it was a huge deal. Whereas PCA ain't signing $100 million contract like Acuna did, right? Like that's not happening. And the second thing I think that's kind of going to cause that from happening is that if you're a PCA, why would you do it after the second half that you had last year? You're almost fine going into this year the way that it is. You have one awesome year, you know what to expect from a full season. You're ready to go. Like you have one awesome year and then you get more. Now, the only way that PCA does sign an extension is if he actually gets only 2 free agency. I don't think PCA is giving up any free agency years to sign an extension. Not after the second half that he had last year.
I would say another reason would be if they think that the system might change dramatically and they feel like it would change in the favor of clubs,
they think
that they might not need then to do this. They might not need to try to lock up Bush and Pete.
Yeah.
Right now, they may think that after the lockout will be a better setup for teams to basically pay less to keep those guys.
Yeah, okay. I think the thing
but who knows? I mean, it could.
But I was going to say, who knows because of the whole status with the TV contracts after 28.
Well, to take it one step further, even I think, and I don't know that if I don't think I have the evidence to back it up, but I feel like every time that there's any kind of labor strife, after that, what it generally happens is the top players still get paid, and it's usually that mushy middle that gets kind of screwed.
Yeah,
because good players, teams want unless you're the Cubs, teams want good players.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
those
even
guys
if-
get paid. And it doesn't matter what the salary cap is. Here's the other thing is that the salary cap isn't going to be like $150 million, right? Like it's going to be high enough that you're still going to have probably about half the league that isn't going to come anywhere near it anyway.
Yeah, that's why the players are going to insist on a salary floor then, like they have
Yes.
in the NBA, because
Yes. Well, you have to.
if you're going to cap the top, you have to cap the
Yes.
bottom.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Otherwise,
yeah, and there's also this idea, like say they really do get a cap, and the cap comes in at under what the Dodgers' current payroll is. The Dodgers aren't gonna have to trade a bunch of guys.
That's right.
Like there's gonna be an easing in period where they can stay over it.
That's right.
Because it's so. Guys, I feel bad for Tom Ricketts. No matter what the system is, he's gonna have to pay baseball players.
Oh my God, I can't decide.
He's gonna
what
have to
do with
pay
this
some
extra
baseball players. And you might as well just not sit out an entire year of shopping. When you supposedly have this great team, you made the playoffs. You won a round in the playoffs. Now you're building on whatever this is.
Well,
and if you're just gonna sit out and just run the same team back without its best offensive player and go, it would be better.
But Andy,
how is that supposed to work?
Keep in mind they missed out on their fourth straight fifth best record.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they got it. That's right.
They got it.
Oh, that's right.
It took a clutch, a Cub. What was it? The Cubs and Dodgers both had to win on the last day.
Yeah, that's 4
And
There we go.
Right?
Shout out to
dude, you can't
the battery of Javier Assad and Moises Ballesteros.
Yeah, can you possibly
getting us that clutch win?
Can you put a price on that, Andy? Can you honestly? Like, but yeah, but to your point, like there's no scenario, there's no reason. What does he think the salary cap's going to be? $50 million? Like if literally all they've got on the books is a few arbitration cases and Swans, like you still, no matter what the salary cap is, you've got plenty to get there.
I think what they think is going to happen is, even if there's not a cap, which there's not going to be a cap, that the financials, that the owners are going to somehow force a big change in the way players are compensated. And there's going to be teams who need to divest themselves of some of their players. And the Cubs feel like if they are sitting there with a big pot of money, they will be able then to be the team who takes good players off other people's hands. And I just don't think it's actually going to happen. I think he's preparing for a best case scenario for him that has no chance of actually working.
Well, if all of a sudden, not only that, but the players who are going to be available, right? Like let's assume that there's a salary cap and the Dodgers have to get under it. Like they may have to trade somebody like Freddie Freeman, right? Like just purely hypothetical. They're not trading Shohei. They're not trading Yamamoto. They're not trading any of the guys who are in their 20s or early 30s.
Oh, the Cubs wouldn't want Shohei because all that money's deferred.
That's right.
Can't take that.
That's right.
But we don't do deferred money.
In general.
We can't take the best player in the world because we can't defer that money.
And not only that, but you're not, like, the Dodgers are smart enough to understand that there's still value in the contracts that are left. So even if you look at it from this idea of, all right, I've got the 6-year deal for Freddie Freeman. We're in the back half of the deal. He's supposed to be kind of declining a little bit, and he kind of is, but he's supposed to be declining a little bit. Like, the Dodgers know that if they get rid of that contract, that's a good thing for them anyway, theoretically. Right?
Yeah, the irony of it is the team best equipped to take advantage of whatever the new landscape is will still be the Dodgers.
Right. And there's still 28 other teams besides the Cubs who are going to want Freddie Freeman, even with the back half of the contract with a little bit of the decline, because now you only got him for 3 years. There's not, or whatever he's got left, there's not this huge commitment. So no matter what it is, like the teams that are kind of way over whatever the cap is going to be, they're not going to be they're not going to get good players. They're just not.
What does Freddie make? 'Cause that's a lot of money to have as a backup to Michael Busch.
I know, right?
Right. Funny, he'll come here. Busch was blocking, or no, Freeman was blocking Busch as a Dodger. Now Freeman will be blocked as a Cub.
Revenge.
Exactly.
Revenge.
They'd be like, well, Freddie, we might be able to get you a start next Sunday. How's that? Is that going to work for you?
Oh, man. Just out of curiosity, do you guys happen to remember at all, like, when the other three major sports implemented salary caps, like what was the policy for like teams
Yeah.
that were like over the cap going into it? Was
Yeah,
there
so-
like
So
that long
in
of a
the
period?
NHL, I remember in the NHL what you were able to do or what they allowed teams. I don't remember how they got teams under the cap, but I also don't know that there were a whole lot of teams that were up near the cap when they implemented it. But I know they had this thing where you were able to, and I don't remember if it was when they implemented the cap or when they had their last labor thing. But you were able
I think
to
I know where
buy
you're going
out.
with this.
You were able to
The
buy
two
out.
buyouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're able to do that, and they still do that, and that's actually not that bad of an idea. The player still gets paid. You got kind of you have
Right.
you get a lower, like there's a formula to it depending on how old the player is, and you kind of get a lower salary cap charge for a little while, and it lasts a little bit longer. But it's a good way to kind of save money, and of course the NFL is all convoluted. There's this crazy. The NBA salary cap is like, that's bonkers. That is the craziest.
There's so many ways to go over it, and
Dude, there's so many rules. It's like I try to like read some of it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There's so many different kinds of contracts, and it's crazy. Like that's nuts.
now the NFL salary cap started the year of the Fox TV deal.
So 94.
So all the teams for the first time ever, had a big shitload of money.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What if you could guess? What do you guess the salary cap was in 1994?
In 1994, that's when they started. What is it now? 259 million?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Like-
I bet it was 120.
75 million.
34.6 million.
What the fuck?
Jeez, wow.
And the
That's-
Bears probably had to sign a bunch of guys to get up above the floor.
right.
Like, wait a minute, what happened? Oh, we'll call Brian Cox again.
Yeah. Richard Dent, you want to play for us?
Holy shit, dude. $37 million. That's less than
34,
$1 million bucks.
35. 34.6.
Holy cow. That's $700,000 a player. Right? 700,000 times 50.
52. Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
52 players.
Yeah, something like that. Holy crap.
53, whatever it is. 52, 53, whatever it takes. Well, maybe the Cubs are banking on it being $29 million.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
It's just Dansby and then a bunch of guys making 10 grand a year.
Yeah,
They pay
like,
them
there
they're
every
like,
you go.
day of the
Yeah.
game.
Dansby, we got to buy you out. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if this was, like, I understand in terms of the NFL. Like, I understand Ryan Poles kind of, in the NFL, you have 3 or 4 year contracts anyway, unless you're, Patrick Mahomes or somebody, or, a franchise quarterback. But, like, generally speaking, like, NFL contracts are 3 to 4 years, so it's kind of easy to roll those over, and releasing players and guaranteed salaries and all that get a little weird. And even in hockey, right, you could kind of see Kyle Davidson sort of doing the same thing. Like, you've got all these guys who are going to start making money, but like the veterans only have 3 or 4 year contracts. And so I get it. But in baseball, like, everything is guaranteed, but like it is in hockey, but everything is guaranteed. You've got top end players who are making a ton of money, which is great. Like, it's just, if you're Tom Ricketts, like, why would you, like, just go spend the money? Because even if you have to go back to the salary cap, other teams are going to have to get to the floor. You're going to be able to shut contracts.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
they're so ludicrously under what it's going to be that it should be it should be embarrassing to them to look and
if they had
be a major market team, but you can't you can't shame people with no shame.
Right.
So here's a good one. So the NBA had a salary cap in 1946 and 47.
Did they really?
And then they didn't have it
Wow.
again until 1984. The 1946 season salary cap was $55,000.
Wait, they had a salary cap in 1984? That's when
And
they
1984 was the first NBA salary cap. It was $3.6 million.
Wow.
That was Michael Jordan's rookie season.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it was the year
Hey, the
before.
NBA if we
No,
learn anything from
45.
the Last Dance,
He played
you know,
He played in the Olympics that
that's
summer.
right.
And then
That's right.
came to the Bulls.
the NBA was not exactly the most popular league in the world before Jordan came around.
Yeah, it was before Jordan, but it's still like
Right.
it's not even like the numbers are the numbers, right? Like inflation and stuff like that. But it's crazy that the player, like, how lame was the leadership of the union that they allowed a salary cap in 1984? Holy shit.
I don't know. The league was a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, Jordan had to straighten them out.
So anyway, yeah, I don't. The Cubs are now connected to Dylan Cease.
Right.
He got a qualifying offer slapped on him, so now they'd have to give a precious draft pick if they did it and go, oh, I'm going to do that. Bob Nightingale connected him to Framber, but he's Bob Nightingale.
It's Bob Nightingale.
So
that's Framber's agent going, hey, connect us to the Cubs so we can get more money out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that they had the balls to sign Framber.
The new Nationals GM seems to have the same idea as the old Nationals GM, and apparently Mackenzie Gore is on the block that they want to get multiple young players for him to add on to James Wood and C.J. Abrams and try to build their. Is that right? C.J. Abrams?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
C.J. Abrams,
No.
James.
Okay.
So, all right. Jed?
Yeah.
But that's
Go get
Ethan,
but
Ethan
cheap.
Conrad, you are a Washington National.
Ethan Conrad, he doesn't have any. I can't imagine he's got value right now.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, last year's first-round pick got traded the offseason.
You can't trade him, right? Can't you? Oh, you guess you can trade now. Right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't trade him during the season. You can trade him after the season.
Well, it's like when with that three.
He's got to play right field next year.
Somebody
They're going
has
to Cam Smith him.
that 3-team
Gotta come right in.
trade. That 3-team.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying now, Press. That 3-team trade. Remember that had the player to be
Brooks
named
Conrad?
later, and it was Trey Turner because you couldn't trade him yet, and so
Yes,
Was it the
yeah, it was
Padres?
like
The
an
Padres
agreement
drafted him.
in principle for the Padres, yeah.
was it
Gosh,
to the
what did that-
Padres?
No, he got drafted by the Padres. They traded him to
Right.
Washington, I think for like Joe Ross, I want to say, or
Yeah, that might be right. That sounds about right.
That seems like a good trade.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was
Like,
kind of weird. I think after that they sort of got rid of it. Like, I mean, the whole draft process has been very truncated anyway, right? Because now you have to sign them by August 15th. Like, it used to be you had a whole year to sign these guys. Now to put pressure, and the players, had all the leverage then, and you can't have that.
Well, in the case of Dylan Cease, to stay on the Padres for a second, there were reports coming out that like the Padres are kind of struggling financially right now. And so, they seem to be like the only other team in contention to it would be him going back to San Diego or going to the Cubs. We'll see how it all plays out and if the Cubs are actually willing to spend the money he would command, but, they kind of seem to be the
How
front
much you think
runner
he
now
command?
for him.
Like, I don't think he's not that young, right? What is he? 32. Hold Cease.
Yeah,
No,
he'll be 30. I think this is his
I don't
32
think he's
season,
30
31.
yet.
You don't think he's 30 yet?
Oh, I forgot he broke in 2019. I'm thinking, I thought like his
Yeah, it's
first
been a
like
while.
really good season with the
Oh,
White
he's
Sox.
gonna
was
be 30.
30 season.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
He'll
Fair
be
enough.
30.
Gotcha. Well,
Oh, his birthday's
I don't know,
coming December 28th. We can get him one. You can get him one of my books. You can send it
There
to
you
him.
go.
there we go. He'll love that. Hey, is there anything featured on him in the 2015-2016 book at the time when he was in the Cubs minor league system? Maybe he could see himself in that.
I would guess his name does not appear in this book.
Damn it.
Just
all
all
right.
right.
Dylan Cease's name?
Because
Why
he get
would
traded
it?
till the next year.
Yeah. Why would it appear in the book?
If it went to
Well,
17, then he's obviously
He was a pretty
Huh?
highly touted prospect at that point. I wasn't sure.
I think even then I was skeptical of any Cub pitching
Yeah.
prospect.
Right.
And I was right to be. I'm really interested in what his market is because he wasn't good this year.
I think the way that teams
And
look at analytics now.
I just think he's a free agent in the wrong year. I mean, I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of like,
Yeah.
well, if we're going to spend on something, we're not going to spend on you. And that's why I think he gets connected to the Cubs with the idea that it's
cheap.
pillow contract time.
Right.
But I wonder if the qualifying offer just scares them off. And maybe if Shōta declines his and is going to go sign somewhere else, then Jed is more apt. They're going to get a comp pick for Tucker.
Right.
And if you think they're going to get a comp pick for Shōta, maybe then they're more willing to sign a qualifying offer player or two because they're going to net the same amount of picks.
Yeah.
Where typically the Cubs don't get anything when their guys
exactly.
leave. They got one for Wilson. That's about it.
Right. This whole qualifying offer period, there were only 13 guys that got offered it? And
Yeah, I mean that's always about that seems to be about how many get it.
I guess the reason for it being that low is like the value increased a lot to what, 22 million this year, and like
Yeah,
you know, we hear all these rumors about like Shōta potentially accepting it, and you know, other guys who like would probably make around that kind of money for their AV. Maybe they want to stick one more year where they're at.
I think here's I don't because baseball contracts are all guaranteed. I think the players are fine saying, all right, instead of taking 1 at 20, I'd rather take 2 at 35, right? To get the extra money anyway, if I'm going to be pitching anyway, and then that way you have some security. Like, I think players are willing to take a little bit less AAV in order to get a longer deal.
Yeah.
As long as
Yeah, 'cause
there's money
it's-
in it.
Yeah,
It's
especially
like,
since the market can be so unpredictable year to
Right.
year. If you lock it in. So the guys who got the offer. Schwarber, who won't say yes.
yeah,
So that's an easy offer for the Phillies. Tucker.
right.
Ranger Suarez isn't going to say yes.
He might.
Framber isn't going to say yes. Ranger thinks he can get a deal.
Yeah.
He's been good the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Bo Bichette isn't going to
that's right.
pick his up. Cease.
Yep.
He could still screw the Padres and just say, sure, I'll take
I don't
22
think
million.
I
Come
think
back.
the Padres would
Right,
be more
yeah.
than happy. I think the Padres would be more than happy to give him 1 year and 22 million.
Trent Grisham got the qualifying.
Yeah,
offer.
I know.
I know he had a great year,
really?
but that's one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Yankees. You'd better be fine with him saying yes if you give him the
Like,
qualifying.
here's the
offer.
thing,
Because
when
there's
you
a
talk
decent chance he's going to.
When you talk about
gonna
these
take
kinds
it.
of players, like I said, I think teams are more than happy to give these players 1 year contracts at 22 million. Like the Yankees can easily, they're like, if he takes 1 and 22 million, great, because now I don't have to worry about center field. They're losing Bellinger probably, although they might resign him. Like, awesome, like a 1 year commitment, especially going into especially going to possible lockout. Like I think that's gold for teams. Teams would love it if any of these guys took because there are a couple, right? There's Edwin Diaz is one that he probably won't take it, but
Yeah,
he got a qualifying offer.
Brandon Woodruff got one from the Brewers. He probably should say.
Yeah.
He probably should.
He's got
say
a
yes,
pitch.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. And I think the Brewers would be more than happy to get Woodruff for 1 year and 20 million.
Well,
Andy,
they have to be. Otherwise, it's too big a risk to.
Right.
They have to have sat there and said, all right, if he comes back, that's fine. Otherwise,
right.
He's way too likely to say yes because of his circumstances for them to just be like,
but
we'll get a pick.
Yeah, and I think they'll be fine with that.
Did you happen, Andy, by the way, to listen to Friday's roundtable with Andy McCullough talking about this, that like if Brandon Woodruff accepts it, he would be getting like a total of like $32 million from the Brewers this year.
Oh, that's right.
He also accepted
a
$10 million buyout as well, too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
probably going
right.
to be, that would be the richest contract in Brewers history, probably. Well, at least like for 1 year.
The guy that's on this list that's funny to me is Gleyber Torres. And it's because the Yankees didn't give him a qualifying offer last year when he left.
Yeah.
So he's still eligible for it.
Yeah. Like the qualifying offer is actually kind of a boon for teams. Like to give a player, like none of these players, if there was no qualifying offer, I mean, I don't know how many of them would actually, I guess we'll know because there's a qualifying offer. But like on the open market, without a qualifying offer attached, I think that all of these players get more than 1 year. And I think teams are more than happy to give a 1 year commitment, even at $1 million.
It had to be part of the strategy with Shōta, which is I think the Cubs wanted to keep him. They just didn't want to keep him at
3 years,
3 guaranteed no trade clause years. And so they're like, well, he's not going to do better than this.
Right.
There's a good chance he's going to play 1 year for 22. And then if we get him to do that, the thing they apparently are going to try to do is give him sign him to a 2 year
2 at 30
Right.
instead of 1 at 22, which is good for Shōta. He gets an extra few $1 million. He's already 32, 33 years old. I think everybody's 32 or 33 years old apparently. So and I think that Shōta would be happy with a 2 year deal at this point of his career, especially after the second half he had last year. And the Cubs would be more than happy to sign him for 2 years at a lower AAV. I think the Cubs would be happy to have him back at 1 year and 20 million. I think they're fine with that.
Michael King got the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
The Padres could have 2 guys say yes, and they would just trade them both.
Well, I think, and that's kind of the other thing. I think it makes both players tradable. Was it on this podcast that we were talking about or did I hear that you and Dave talk about it? If there was some sort of a qualifying offer, no trade clause or something?
Yeah, Dave talked about it.
I feel like you guys were thinking that No, I don't
No.
think so. I think what you guys were thinking is that if a player gets traded in the middle of the year, he doesn't get
Yes.
a qualifying offer.
Well, that's true.
And I think you were
Right.
getting a little bit.
There was something about. Oh, and we looked it up, and it's on my own podcast. I don't remember it. There are restrictions to trading a player.
Or maybe you can't do it till June 15th or something.
On the qualifying offer. Yeah,
Okay.
you can't immediately flip them.
Interesting.
Right. Which is fine. Like I said, and that's the other thing about.
Yeah, most
any-
teams really wouldn't care anyway, as long as the player didn't get hurt. They would,
Yeah.
The market. You're going to pay some of that. Obviously, you're going to pay him for April, May, and part of June, but by then a market will likely have emerged for that guy that didn't probably exist in the offseason when teams are like, well, I don't have to do that. We can do this. There becomes more scarcity in season, and a guy who's available gets more attention.
Yeah.
So, it's not the worst thing in the world.
And the next thing, and the other thing is, I think a lot of teams, especially like a team like the Tigers, if they really think about what it's going to take to replace, and Gleyber Torres isn't like some amazing player. Like he's fine, he's a good player, but what's it going to take to replace him? And when you consider that replacing him is probably a 3-year contract to some free agent.
Yeah. Well, the move for them, I think, is he was only intended to be a 1-year stopgap.
Until
and it was,
Colt
I
Keith
think it was for Colt Keith.
Yeah.
I think they thought he was going to be it. But now, wouldn't the move be to play, just to move Javi to second base?
As opposed to who's going to play shortstop?
Right.
Well, you go find a shortstop.
But
they've got options. Like if Gleyber just leaves, they've got. Well, they still have the great Trey Sweeney.
That's
So
right.
you can just put him back there. And they have Zach McKinstry.
And Zach McKinstry, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cubs legend.
I'm sure they
got
maybe
depth.
maybe Donnie DeWeese is out there. They could sign Donnie DeWeese. That'd be good.
Hell, I mean,
And his mom.
Yeah.
Does his mom still hate him? Who's that?
Judd, call up your old buddy Scott Harris right now and see if he's interested in Ed Howard.
Ed Howard.
That's right.
Yeah.
God, there's a name I forgot.
Wait till Ed. Well, that's why they're going to just let Nico go, because Ed's going to come up play shortstop.
Well,
and then Dansby will move to second.
Well, you got to be careful because if you can go out there and trade Ed Howard for Tarek Skubal, you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Tarek Skubal and who?
Right. Well,
come on. It does seem like a normal functioning front office. You should be talking to Nico about an extension.
You would think.
He's an unrestricted free agent after next season.
Yeah.
He's free as the wind.
Yeah.
And he was really good for them last year. And I don't think he's cost prohibitive. So he's the kind of guy you should.
He's the kind of player who's not going to command a huge contract in the open markets. You might as well go out and sign him. He gives you defense, and this is sort of the thing about the team that Judd has put together. And I give him credit for this. That's also why I think Framber Valdez is kind of the perfect pitcher for this team. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He's not going to get $300 million a year, or $300 million total. Holy shit, $300 million a year. Like he's the perfect pitcher. He's 60% ground ball pitcher. He's really, really good at doing what the Cubs need done, and that is to use the defense. If you're going to give Dansby, Swansea, if you sign Nico, whatever it is, I think the Cubs think that Nico is a little bit replaceable, just because he's not that kind of an impact player.
No, I agree with that, and I think if Jed can fight the urge to give him a no trade clause, there's always going to be a market for Nico, especially if you're willing, then if you feel like, well, shit, we overpaid. If you're willing to eat some of his money, you can always trade him. He's a good baseball player. There will be teams who will want him. There's very little risk in re-signing Nico Hoerner unless you give him a no trade and he falls off all of a sudden he forgets to hit again and you can't move him for anything. You can't eat some money and trade him because he's happy. But you don't have to give him a no trade. They didn't have to give the one they gave to Hap. But the reason
why I think that what they were thinking is if they didn't give one to Hap, then he would have hit free agency and somebody would have given him 5 years. And I don't think I think this is why this qualifying offer makes sense. I don't know that Cubs are having. Yeah. They definitely don't have an appetite for Jason Hayward contracts anymore.
Hap got the no trade in theory, in Judd's mind, for only signing a 3-year deal.
Exactly.
The problem was there was no market
100%.
for more than 3 years of Ian Happ. So the Cubs didn't need to lock themselves in. If they wanted to keep him, they weren't going to lose him because nobody was going to give him more than 3 years, and he wanted to stay.
Well, I don't know. I think that Hap could have gotten something like a 5-year, $80 million contract. Like Bright, he signed $360. I think that Hap could have gotten.
I don't know, but if you remember it, so that he signed it during the
23 season.
23 season.
Yeah.
And
he
he had
was
a good
so
year.
terrible in 21. And 22 he was
Correct.
okay.
And 22 is good, right?
Huh?
And 22
He signed it in
22
the
was good.
23
Yeah, that was the
because
all-star
the deal is
season
for
him.
Yes.
24, 25,
Yes.
26.
Yeah.
So he signed in 26.
But he
early,
yeah, so he
like
was
April.
good, and he was good in 22, and that's what made the Cubs freak out.
Yeah, but was he that good? Because he'd been so inconsistent. It's
Right.
like,
Well, that's part of it.
How many teams were really going to get that excited about him?
I mean,
Let's see this good year.
Right.
17
Maybe
homers,
we want-
72 RBIs, 271,
Yeah.
342, 440. He was a 117 OPS plus. He
Yeah.
was,
it's fine. That's it. Dude, a 117
He's a
OPS
better than average
he was
player who
fine.
was already limited to left field. The market couldn't have been enormous for
Right.
him.
But Andy, don't forget, like teams would be projecting a Gold Glove.
He was an all-star in 22.
Yeah, and this was before
His
he
only
won,
all-star.
and it was before he won his first Gold Glove, right? 23,
Wasn't he
24. No, it was
shit
he had
in the
already won a
second
gold.
half?
He was coming off a Gold
He-
Glove
he-
in 22, right?
He won his first in 22.
Dude, that's gold. I'm
It's-
surprised he
yeah.
settled for a
What
3-year contract.
What a value.
Yeah.
I wanna
Well,
see his
but
second
it
half in
was
22.
by the way, this isn't exactly news, but tweet coming across the timeline, according to John Heyman, Shōta Imanaga expected to decline his qualifying offer.
Okay.
Hasn't it had
Ian-
anything official
Ian
yet?
Happ's-
But
Ian Happ's second half in 2022, the year that he was so good. 267, 311, 435, 8 homers, 30 RBIs. That was the guy he had to lock up.
Yeah.
'Cause
No. Andy, I'm
OPS plus in the second half of 90.
okay. That's I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I remembered at the time, I was like, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yes. No,
And
I
they did it.
agree with you, but I also
Right.
like the market. Somebody. I
It
don't remember
felt
who
to
was
me
the-
like Jed it was just to prove he could sign someone to
Yeah, because you were saying that before, how there were a couple of who wouldn't take his money.
Yeah, we couldn't
well,
get
yeah,
anybody.
Rizzo before they traded him, and Baez.
Rizzo, who they tried to fuck over with that offer.
Yeah, it was like
Um,
5 years, 70 million, right? Yeah.
Well, they keep doing it. They did the same thing to PCA.
Just-
Like,
They had the deal for Javi, and then the pandemic hit, and then they somehow got scared, and they wouldn't do it. And it was a lot. That deal was not anywhere close to the deal he got in Detroit.
Yeah.
Javi made a lot more money by
Yeah.
being a free agent, but so I feel like there was this whole feeling that, well, Jed just can't. He can't get an extension done, and then he did, but it was with Ian, so that was great. Yeah, I don't know. Shōta turning it down doesn't it's still. Maybe in a way, I guess if he's actually decided a week before the deadline, because he didn't have to do it till next Tuesday, he must feel like it's probably more likely that he's leaving than he's staying.
well,
Don't you
what's
think?
happening?
Because otherwise, you'd want the leverage when you're talking to the Cubs of, I can just say yes, and you're gonna have to pay me $22 million next year, no matter what.
Yeah, but so a couple things.
Or
First of
they're
all,
already
this-
close to
Yeah,
a
just
deal.
because the story leaks out doesn't mean he won't do it or he doesn't have leverage, right?
It's also John Heyman. It doesn't mean it's true.
Right. The
is true,
second
yeah.
thing is that I forgot the second thing. I was going to make another point about that qualifying offer. Oh, here, like his agent has definitely reached out to other teams. We
Oh, yeah.
know, like and this is
Yeah, these guys are free agents. They're
this is-
free
right,
to negotiate.
And
Yeah.
this is also why I don't think that Dylan Cease only has 2 suitors. Like, that sounds crazy to me. Because everybody needs pitching. Everybody's willing to spend at least something on it because you need to. Everybody saw what the Dodgers did last year. And nope, I'm not suggesting anybody's going to go out and sign Blake Snell and Glass now and Yamamoto all at once. But, like, they saw what the Dodgers did. Everybody needs pitching. And I think that these guys are going to get their contracts. Because I think
Especially
even a
if
team
you're.
like the Twins can afford and can go out and get Dylan Cease. Like anybody can go out and get Dylan Cease because I don't think like we're talking about a $20-25 million player. It's like
Yeah.
kind of like
And a player who's likely to sign a short-term deal. You know, he's
maybe not.
Dylan
like,
Cease can't
I-
hold out for like a 5-year deal at this point. So
Why not?
what you're committed to is it becomes less risk because it's going to be over a shorter period.
Yeah,
of time.
well, I think he can
Which
get a
puts more
4-year
teams in the discussion, although a bunch of them still bail at the last minute.
I think-
Like,
I
oh
think
God, we
that-
might have to pay it.
I think he can get a 4-year, like $90 or $100 million deal.
Well, he's not getting that from the Cubs because the Cubs, they gave their last $100 million deal to a
Yes.
pitcher when it was Yu Darvish, and they're never going back. That was way too much.
Yeah, like oh.
Yeah, the deal that was too much that Theo bragged about how flexible it
bargain
would
it
make
was.
them in future off seasons. Yeah, exactly.
And they just had to get rid of it
Mm-hmm.
after they fixed him.
Right.
You know, he had such a good year, and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And then they're like, okay, he's leaving now. We're gonna get a bunch of teenagers for him.
Wait, who won that Cy Young? Was that Trevor Bauer?
That was
Trevor
Bauer,
Bauer.
yeah. The 1 year with the Reds.
Jesus Christ. So nothing good's gonna happen. I agree with you. Like it'd be like I said, if they were
won 8 games in 2020 in 12 starts.
Yeah, it was amazing.
In 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, he has won more than 8 games once.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He's Yu Darvish, man. You're not gonna make me hate Yu Darvish.
And
but he was good.
That's on a good team too, where you think wins would not be that hard to come by.
The Padres?
Yu Darvish. Yeah.
I haven't been that good.
He won 16 games in 22.
Well, they've been
Jed would have had to give him
team.
a no trade clause if he had such a good year in 22.
Yu Darvish is already 38 years old, right? 37, 38, whatever he is now.
Hey, he's been pitching in the big league since 2012.
God, I love that.
And he had a full career in Japan before he came over.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites. I love you.
Oh, I love you. Yeah.
Oh, I love you guys.
I love you,
wait.
man.
Especially loved him in Game 3. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
He has only won double digits, and he's pitched 13 years in the big leagues. He's only won 10 or more games 5 times.
Huh.
16, 13, 10, 10, and 16.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of 7, 6, 4, 1, 6, 8, 8, 7, 5.
Well, he missed a whole year to Tommy
he missed
John.
all of
18.
15.
Yeah.
And he missed
a
big
lot
chunks
of
of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good with the Rangers. I mean, he was a Cy Young. He had to be at least a Cy Young finalist 1 or 2 times with the Rangers, once or twice with the Rangers. Like, dude was really fucking good. Like, that guy's, man.
He finished second in 13. He finished second with the Cubs then.
Yeah.
And then he finished 8th in 21.
That's wait, 13 was the only time he finished top 10 with the Rangers when he was.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, rookie year he was 9th.
His rookie year, he 9th. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good, man.
Yep.
He's
still got like 4 years left on his contract, so he'll be back. Padres gave him that big extension. Well, he signed through 28.
Oh yeah,
41.
Well, they gave
he's 41.
Yeah, well, they gave him an extension, I think, to lower his CBT number, right? They tacked on an extra year to his deal, and they lowered.
The next year he's due to make $16 million. Next 2 after that, 15 and 15. So, and he had made 21 this past season.
But it's the total, right? It's the total contract. The AAV is the average of the contract, so it's not exactly what he got paid. But I think he went down probably to about $15.5 million or so, or $16 million from like 21 that he was at. So I think they tacked.
Yeah, that's why Justin Turner had a 1-year deal with an option.
Yeah,
so that they could spread the money over 2.
Hey, he's apparently not set on retirement either.
Right, he wants to play again.
Be playing third for the Cubs next year, probably.
Been seeing him quite a bit.
Trade Shaw
in Chicago on Instagram and everything like that. It's like, can you take a picture somewhere else? Can you go somewhere warm this offseason, please, so I don't have to keep thinking about you being here next year?
Like, I will say this. I'm not a big Justin Turner fan, and I couldn't care less whether he comes back to the Cubs or not, but I feel like the Cubs could do a whole lot worse than what he did last year against lefties and pinch hitting. And that was
I think
point. Andy,
especially once they got Willie and they had an actual bench piece, then I felt like they used Turner the right way after that.
Yeah. Yes.
Like he was playing too much and playing too much in the field
Yeah.
Right.
early in the year. And then Craig got a little more daring with Bush facing more
Yes.
lefties.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. That's right.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, they could, if the role is simply occasional game at first base and pinch hit, then
Yep.
if they want to bring him back again, what the hell? I mean, Davey Lopes played for the Cubs when he was 43 or whatever the hell. I mean, he won't be the oldest. He won't be the oldest Cub bench guy ever. It's just if all of a sudden he's playing,
Right.
then that's bad.
Yeah.
That means something serious has happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Like the great James Triantos is not ready.
Jesus.
I will admit I've never seen him play in person, but every time I look at any of his stats, I don't understand why anybody thinks he's any good.
I don't think
I
anybody
don't get
does
it.
anymore. Do they? Do people?
Oh, a lot of perverts still think
Really?
he's. Oh yeah, he's scrappy. He's anybody short. And I think did he play at Arizona State? But anybody short is Dustin Pedroia. It's like, well, I don't think Dustin Pedroia had like a 689 OPS in the
I will tell you this.
American Association.
I will tell you this. Every time that clip comes onto either my Facebook Reels or TikTok about Dustin Pedroia telling the story about how David Ortiz thought his name was Pee Wee.
Yeah.
I will watch it every time it comes on. It's so hilarious to me. And the way that Dustin tells it is really good. He just tells the story pretty good in front of that crowd. Like he's just giving a speech or whatever it is. I love that. I think it's hilarious.
You know who is a free agent who could come back and help, especially if you trade Matt Shaw away? You bring back Nick Madrigal.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do you say things like that? They could have brought him back at any point last year too, Andy.
No, he's hurt. He missed the whole year.
Was he? Was he with the Mets organization?
Yeah, he didn't play a game.
He wasn't in the Mets.
Did he get a couple $100,000 off of Steve Cohen?
He broke his left shoulder.
Oh.
It does seem like an infant injury, doesn't it? Like you're the size of a baby and you get dropped and you break your shoulder. Not well, money-wise, he got screwed because he signed a minor league deal that had a big league assignment bonus.
Sure.
And he was going to be they basically promised him he was going to be on the roster. He was going to get the big league money, but when he got hurt, obviously they didn't have to give it to him because they didn't put him on the big league roster. They put him on the minor league injured list and whoops.
Yeah, but if he's replacing Shaw, I mean, do we know the political leanings of one Nick Madrigal?
Stop.
Like, can we ensure that
I as much as I can't stand obviously Shaw's political leanings, I would hate Nick Madrigal even more. I don't care. I wouldn't even care if he was a Bernie bro.
Would you bring Willie Castro back?
No.
So you have a bench piece that can actually play?
You could find bench, I don't think it's that.
They didn't do it last year.
I know. Well, he's bad at it.
John Birdie, Vidal, Brujan. Yeah. They gave Craig a bunch of guys he couldn't play. Willie didn't hit with the Cubs, but Willie can at least actually play.
Yeah.
All the
Birdie
positions.
was okay. Birdie was, he was awful. Like I remember he had a decent couple of weeks in April. He's a bench guy. Like, what do you expect? Like, you're not getting a regular for that kind of money. If they were willing, I'll put it this way: if they're willing to spend money, I'd be all for. But the Dodgers, at least the Dodgers had Dalton Rushing. Like, I don't know. I feel like the Cubs bench next year will probably be a little bit closer to somebody like Kevin Alcantara will be there all year. I think Owen.
Yeah, it is time to actually
You don't have to give these guys
some of the young guys. It's being at Iowa is not helping.
Right.
You reach a point where it's like he's got to play every day. It's like, well, yeah, but he'd rather. It's a better deal to have a guy playing a few days a week. I get it. When you're in pure development mode, you don't want to be sitting on the bench.
100%.
But once you get to a certain point where there's really nothing to prove at AAA, you're just wasting everybody's time there then. And you're blocking, hopefully, other developing players from getting those at bats at AAA. So.
And with Ethan hopefully Ethan Conrad's okay next year, and he seems like somebody who will move pretty fast. Not that I put too much stock in it, but they've got if I think about a depth chart, you don't have to force players into regular roles. It's perfectly okay if Calvin Alcantara winds up your fourth outfielder. That's perfectly a really good or perfectly fine result of that development. Fine. If he's not going to be a regular center fielder, right? Maybe, he's probably not going to be a regular left fielder. You still got Seiya for a year, but like it's perfectly okay for them to keep Casey and Alcantara on the bench next year. And
do we know, are they
fine.
having the Chris Kindle market at Wrigley again this year?
They are. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go because I want to go walk on the field and see the spot where Owen Casey's face imprint is still in the bricks.
Wait, do they let you go? They don't. I don't think they let you go onto the field.
Isn't there like a sled hill out there for people to go down?
A sled hill at Wrigley Field?
They might. They didn't have it last year because of the Winter Classic being there with the Blackhawks, but I want to say like the 2 previous winters they did have it there.
They had it inside of Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
Part of it.
They have like an ice skating rink and like a
but
they have activities on the field. They don't set up the little wooden huts on the field and stuff.
No. I get that.
They put
they
all
have
in like Gallagher
They
Way.
have stuff.
Yeah.
They have like the fake ice skating rink that they put out there, and
I thought that was a Gallagher Way. That's inside of Wrigley.
There's some
inside
in there
of
and some
Wrigley.
out. You go in and out. Yeah.
Really?
I have the pictures in there to prove it.
See?
Wow. I didn't realize that. I figured everything was just a Gallagher
I'm surprised
Way.
the Cubs. Of course, they couldn't because they had to get ready for Northwestern football.
Oh, that's right.
One last time. But like the Giants do the thing where they let you hit golf balls out of the like grandstand.
Oh,
they
yeah.
set targets up on the field and stuff. Maybe you can't do it at Wrigley because it'd be too easy to hit the ball out in the street.
No, they did do it at Wrigley.
Did they?
Yeah, because a buddy of mine wanted to know if I wanted to go do that at Wrigley, but it was like you got to hit something like 3 golf balls
for
and it was like
$1,000.
$50. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like.
of course
I'm
it
like,
was.
I'm not going. I don't give a shit about hitting a golf ball at Wrigley.
You didn't want to reenact and be the first guy since Sam Snead to hit a ball off the center field scoreboard?
Yeah, right.
God.
I don't think they
The
actually let
Cubs,
you do that.
that story used to get told
Yeah.
40 times a season.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this still coming up?
Huh.
This happened before it was born, and you guys are still making a big deal out of this. Well, nobody's ever hit the scoreboard with a ball except for golfer Sam. Shut up. Just shut up.
In fairness, some of those dead seasons, some of the broadcasters there were probably thinking like, can I just go hit the golf course? They're probably thinking of something like that reminded them of where they really
Hitting
wanted
golf.
to be instead of
Lou
watching.
Boudreaux was hitting balls out of the radio booth onto the field during games.
Right.
I think
Don't worry, they won't catch it.
Praz, to be fair, I think that there were a lot of players who were thinking that those years too.
that as well too. Yes.
Jody Davis and Keith Moreland used to start growing their hunting beards on September 1st.
Their what beards?
They're hunting beards on September 1st. So
Is
they
that
would be
right?
bearded at the end of the season.
Because they knew.
Show what a commitment to the pennant race. It's like, fuck it, this season's over. Might as well get the beard going. Like, okay, good. All right. Well, I think we hashed all that. I had brought up the idea we could bitch about Cade Horton not winning Rookie of the Year and Pete not getting his platinum glove. To me, it's very odd that a popularity contest, Pete lost one to Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right.
Yeah, it's not. But
instead, we are going to open the floor. So
you can call Praz out.
Praz.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
You can. I was going to say you can call Praz out.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And he has a hot topic that he wants to talk to us about.
Yeah. It's kind of like topics that we have kind of glossed over a little bit over the course of the season that we never really dove a little deep on and everything. But, I remember bringing this up after the Cubs lost to the Brewers on our recap show that we did, saying that, like, I'm basically there right now. I'm there as far as hating the Brewers more than I hate the Cardinals. Now, let me preface this by saying I still hate the Cardinals. Like, I still hate the Cardinals, too. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate, like, what that rivalry is and, like, all the history of it and everything. It just feels like the hatred from the Brewers comes a lot more stronger towards the Cubs than the hatred from the Cardinals does. Like, all the marketing that they do as far as, like, the preseason ticket sales against the Cubs when they only allow Wisconsin residents to buy those tickets. It seems very, low rent and almost kind of counterintuitive because I don't know the official, I don't know this to be the exact truth. Maybe one of you guys might be able to tell me this, but when the Brewers decided to switch leagues in 97, a big reason for that was because they would be in the same division as the Cubs, and that would help boost attendance for those games.
Sure.
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Plus, Bud, they had their de facto owner was the commissioner of baseball, so that was fun.
Right.
But he still fancied Milwaukee as a National League city from their old Braves days.
Well,
And he wanted
okay.
them back in the National League.
Yeah. So I will say this, Praz. I think that so you're right about this. I do feel like there's this hatred that comes from Milwaukee that doesn't necessarily come from the Cardinals. And that's because the Cubs have never really gotten in the Cardinals' way. The same way that
2015?
No, okay. Well, fair enough. But I mean,
They've only met in the playoffs once.
Yeah, you're talking about 130.
And the Cubs won, not the Cardinals.
Well, I mean, it was kind of impossible for them to meet in the playoffs until,
For sure.
15 years ago, whatever it was, maybe 20 years ago. How long have they had this format?
Well, as soon as there was a wild card.
Oh,
you
so
could have two teams from the same.
Yeah. So is
Right.
it 94? I guess.
Well, yeah, because remember, like the early 2000s, the Astros were probably the bigger rival to the Cardinals. That matchup wound up happening a lot in the playoffs those years. And like oftentimes that would be like in the years where the Cubs were middling to bad.
Yeah.
Those would be like the top two in the NL Central a lot of those years.
So play devil's advocate for you. I still don't agree with you, Praz, but in the big picture, but to play devil's advocate, I don't think, to your point, I don't know that the Cubs and the Cardinals have ever been good in the same years other than 2015, obviously.
It rarely happens. It's amazing.
Right. So I do think that there's some of that, right? It was just sort of this natural rivalry that just sort of occurred because they were really close to each other or whatever it is. And it just goes back a really long time. It's very similar, I think, to how a lot of people feel about the Bears-Packers rivalry, because for the longest time, they were never good at the same time, right? At least after.
It's funny you bring that up because I like going back to a lot of like the podcasts that Andy has done with Huey, the Remember This Craps. Like I remember hearing Huey talk about like in the era where when the Bears were dominant in the 80s and the Ditka years, the team that you really hated more was the Vikings more than the Packers because the Packers
the Vikings were better.
Not all that much of a they were not all that much in
for
the
the fact.
Well, go ahead.
They were the bigger threat. You still hated the Packers because in those years, Forrest Gregg was their coach, and he hated Mike Ditka so much that every Bear-Packer game was full of cheap shot horse shit.
That's right.
Charles Martin,
That's right. Just because they had nothing to lose, too, right? They weren't good, so
Ken Stills hitting Matsui in the Bears huddle like 15 seconds after a play. Just running over and hitting him for no reason. Yeah, there was a lot of weird shit.
Yes. But, and again, because the Packers had nothing to lose because they weren't good. They just simply weren't good.
To me, there's a huge difference between your main competition and your rival are not the same thing.
That's right.
And I feel like right now the Cubs and Brewers are each other's main competition because they are both competitive, and the Cardinals have taken a glorious shit nap down there.
I do have a counter to this when you're done, but go ahead.
Okay. But I find it inconceivable, and I know, I get it. It's a different generation of Cub fan that any Cub fan could hate any team more than those fucking Cardinals. They are the worst. They've been the worst forever. If you think Brewer fans are petty, they are nowhere close to as petty as fucking St. Louis Cardinal fans are. It's just the most horseshit that their podunk little fucking town. The only thing they could claim to be better than Chicago was their baseball team. And they over and over again, they threw it in our fucking faces. And it's just so tiresome. I hate it so much. To this day, I still, even when the Cardinals are out of it, I get more pissed off if the Cubs lose to the Cardinals than if they lose to anybody else. And it's going to be that way my entire life. The Cubs and Brewers have played less than 500 times. The Cubs and Cardinals have played 2,500 times. I feel like I've seen them all. And the Cubs were clinging to a 1-run lead in the ninth every fucking time. The Cubs actually have a winning record against the Cardinals.
All time?
Yes. 1281 to 1226, where the Cubs have a losing record all time to the Brewers.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
Well, I mean, that kind of thing plays into Praz's point a little bit.
Yeah. I can see why somebody who didn't have to, and they were all the idea that the Cubs were never in the Cardinals' way.
Right.
For a long time that was true, except not in their minds. The Cubs were always in their way. The insecurity of that franchise runs so much deeper even than the insecurity does in Milwaukee.
It's the same with the Packers, right? The Packers just this little town. They were treated like shit by Hallis, and so they hate the Bears. All right, fine. Chicago's just a better, bigger city.
In fairness to the Packers, you got to remember that like they are one of the.
No, stop what you're going to say. There's no unfairness to the Packers.
There's no unfairness to the Packers.
But as one of the charter franchises of the NFL, you got to remember like the towns the NFL teams played in those days were basically all a bunch of Green Bays. Like the first ever NFL game was played in Rock Island, Illinois. And like like the Bears have roots in Decatur. Like
of course.
The
they
Packers
were smart enough to get out where the Packers weren't.
No, for
the
sure.
Packers stayed.
But the
Packers stayed in their Decatur. The Bears left theirs.
Like every other team who was around in the NFL inception has moved to bigger and better cities, except for Green Bay. Well, I guess there may have been one or two others. I don't know, but like,
the Canton Bulldogs are still there, right? Aren't they still? Oh,
hey, their stadium's still up because the Bears play there every freaking preseason.
They're still there in Vatch's heart because they're called.
Yeah, there you go. So like counter to what you were saying, the just thinking back, even before like the 2018 battle, and like people don't even talk about it that much, but like 2017, even before the Brewers got Yelich and Kane and like the guys that would make up, like the the like post like Braun Fielder, I guess Braun was still there. Like there were a lot of years where the Brewers was the main competition to the Cubs even before that. You look at the 07 and 08 teams. In 07, the Brewers were in first place for a long time before the Cubs finally got their shit together. Not so much in 08, but the Brewers were a wild card team then. Then you get to like, obviously like 2015, 2016, it's obviously bigger with the Cardinals. Although really 2016, the Cubs were so dominant compared to the rest of the NL Central that it really doesn't matter all that much as far as like divisional rivals go. But then, like 2017, like you finally get like one of those other years where like the Brewers get off to a hot start and they won't go away, and the Cubs are in this World Series hangover. And, I don't know. I kind of feel like it started then, and then that next offseason they get Yelich and they get Kane, and then eventually they chase down the Cubs. That's when they really like lean into like their anti-Cubs marketing the whole time. Like the Cardinals, at least looking like on Twitter, like they don't typically really do that.
Yeah, they don't have to.
They feel like they're above that.
Yeah, they don't have to.
They're not.
Right.
They're horribly petty, but they like to act like they're not. That's why they golf clap when other teams make nice plays. Oh, look at us! Look, we appreciate that kind of shit.
And there's smugness, like the Brewers as a franchise might be insecure, but the Cardinals are smug, and like they call themselves the best fans of baseball. Like they're whole thing.
True. I'm with you on like hating the fan base. I hate the Cardinals fan base more than the Brewers. Clearly, yes. The organization still though, like. When it's
not that to me, it was not close.
Yeah, that's not
the Cardinal organization is the most detestable bunch of fucks in baseball history.
Agreed.
So I don't know what the Brewers could do to get that to that level with me. I don't know. I know the Brewers are a good team right now. You don't get to erase 150 years of history because they have one nice little run now. In my lifetime, with the years the Cubs actually had a chance to win anything, they had to get through the Cardinals. 84, they had to get through the Cardinals. 89, they had to get through the Cardinals. 2003,
was it the Cardinals or more the Mets in 84?
It was still the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Where was the Sandberg game against?
Yeah.
It wasn't against
was the Cardinals,
Bob Ojeda. Yeah. It was,
Yep.
In 03, they had the Labor Day series.
Yep.
The 4 games in 5. The 5 games.
Yeah, the
in 4
Astros
days.
factored in there though.
in 15, in fact, you can read all about it in this book. One of the most gratifying moments of the Theo.
Yeah.
There's two to me. I guess there's three things that stand out, or that whole era. It was beating the Cardinals in the playoffs in 15, winning the pennant at Wrigley against Clayton Kershaw, winning the World Series. That's three things. And it would have felt hollow if they had gone through all that and they didn't get a chance to smack the Cardinals. And I could give two shits if they'd have played the Brewers in a series during that stretch.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have mattered.
Well, yes, but that was also coming off of like a long stretch of the Cubs being bad and then them being good for the first time. At the same time, the Cardinals
have
had
Cub
a
history.
really recent run of success. Yes, I know.
The Cubs are always coming off a long stretch of being bad. That's the whole.
The Brewers annoy me.
But when the ultimate success was on the precipice, it was the years that led up to that were, dealing with Cubs teams that weren't trying to win and were bad and at times annoyingly bad, and then the Cardinals dominating at that time. I definitely hated the Cardinals more then. I definitely hated the Cardinals more then. I can tell you that for sure.
I will say this. Praz, two quick points that I want to make. One, the Brewers annoy me. The Cardinals make me angry.
Yep.
And the other thing, one of the reasons why I absolutely am just so completely fed up with Jed Hoyer and the way that the Cubs are doing business right now is because the idea that the Cardinals are in this bad spot and the Cubs can't take full advantage of it is so angering.
At some point,
I couldn't care less about the Brewers.
At some point, they will come back, and the Cubs will have squandered every year from 2017 until whenever.
Yes.
And now you're gonna have to deal with them again.
That is so the idea of Yadi Molina getting into the Hall of Fame is so
repulsive. That's fair.
Yeah, it's such an insult to my character, to my whatever. Like it's angering. Whereas the Brewers are like, I can't. Like, all right, Cesar Sabathia was awesome. All right, cool. Like,
I don't like the Brewers. I hate the Cardinals.
Right.
To me, there's a big difference.
It might be, Andy's point, it might be a generational gap, frankly.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's I'm saying that Praz is his time with the Cardinals doesn't go back as far as ours does. And and at that point, the Brewers were not even in the league. You didn't have to worry about them. They were playing. They had insignificant rivalry games with the White Sox, the two teams you could just easily ignore, the Brewers and the White Sox.
Yeah.
But I mean, I grew up having to put up with Whitey Herzog shit and then Tony La Russa's shit, and it was just all shit.
Yeah.
And watch Ozzie Smith hit his first left-handed fucking home run of his life, won a playoff series. Yeah. It's like you just would watch it like, how does this shit happen?
Fucking
and anybody who
David
thinks
Eckstein.
The Brewers are running around with a horseshoe in their hiney, and they were last year, the Cardinals seem to do that for like 4 decades in a row.
David Eckstein has a goddamn World Series MVP.
Here's one thing I'll push back on, though. The ultimate success that the Cardinals had, like their World Series titles and their pennants, they didn't really come with the Cubs really factored into them.
That's right.
The most successful moments for the Brewers, Game 163 in 2018 is up there. Winning this series this year in 2025 and taking down Craig is up there. Every time that the Cubs go up there and Craig goes out to check on an injured player or change pitchers and they boo the hell out of him, that's like their most prideful frickin' moments.
Yeah.
And so
right. But I get that. I understand that point, but that's also why they don't matter to me.
Right.
Because look at the insignificant shit that is the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Yep.
The Cubs have won 17 pennants and 3 World Series, and the Cardinals won God know how many in all their World Series. The Brewers have their biggest moments are, they won an American League pennant, but it's winning a play-in game where both teams were already in the playoffs, and it was winning a divisional round.
Yeah.
That's what that's what they're hanging their hat on. They still hang wild card pennants on the wall in Miller Park. It's like we have to stoop to make to be a rival to them.
For sure.
It's like we're judged on a far higher plane than the current Milwaukee Brewers are.
Yeah.
So I don't
get what
like
you're
them.
saying.
I don't want the Cubs to lose to them. It pisses me off when they lose to them. But it's nothing to me. Like losing a playoff game, a non-elimination playoff game to the Brewers bothers me less than losing a regular season game to the Cardinals.
I think it's probably true. Yeah, I would.
Even this year when they were, when Miles Michaelis was throwing batting practice to the Cubs every time out.
Oh man,
It's the best.
I wish that was on a
Sure,
24
sure, but I'm saying like
sitting there watching. This is all payback.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
Them being bad is great, and I agree 100% with Oleg. It pisses me off that the Cardinals should be the only real competition to the Cubs in the division. And when the Cardinals are bad, like they are right now, the Cubs should easily roll. And the only reason they don't is the self-imposed limitations that they put on their ability to go get players.
Yep.
They're perfectly content to not do it. And so then they don't have to. But there's really only one team in the division that can come close to them resource-wise. And it's those. And I know that part of the Cardinals' demise is that that ridiculous TV deal they signed blew up in their faces because the RSNs all ran out of money.
Yeah,
and it's why they haven't been able to keep adding on. But at some point, those assholes are going to figure out how to start making money again.
Yeah.
And the Cubs are going to have really blown this chance. But I can tell you, when they come back, when the Cardinals are decent again, you'll realize pretty quickly who the real rival is. It'll become far easier to ignore Brewer games. It's almost like we have to manufacture a rival right now.
I mean, 2015. I mean, Praz, in 2015, they were so fucking insufferable. Like it was literally like Cardinals fans go, the Cubs will never win. Like it's insufferability.
I'm sure there's somewhere there's a Brewer fan that spent $180 to customize a Bartman 03 jersey.
Yeah. Maybe.
But there's about 5,000 of them that have Cardinal ones with that on it. Remember that asshole with his weird little blazer with the little bird on his hat or whatever? So he's at the very end. You see him in the highlights when Rondon strikes out Piscotty to end it. And that guy just like taps his friend on the shoulder and like gives a thumb to the exit. Like, we got to get the fuck out of here. I love that guy.
Yeah.
That is a pretty damn great cut. I mean, okay, the thing I think I'll say in favor of you guys is like, outside of winning the World Series and the pennant in 2016, I mean, I don't think there's a more satisfying playoff series victory in any of our lifetimes for the Cubs than when they beat the Cardinals in 2015. And I don't know that any playoff series win over the Brewers could really top that.
Praz, that's only one of two playoff series that the Cubs have won since 1908. Right, well, other than
during that time before 2016.
There's other than the pennant in the World Series. There's three other series that the Cubs have won. Right, that was the 2017 against the Nationals,
right?
2016
against the Giants,
and 2016 against the Giants.
03 against the Braves.
Well, and this year against the Padres.
And the Padres, the Cubs are rolling up.
Yeah,
playoff series wins.
Woo!
We can barely count them on one hand these days.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm thinking. Here's the thing. I will say this. The Cardinals won a goddamn World Series with an 83-win team, so they can go fuck themselves.
Honestly, that whole run they had when under La Russa, they won the World Series with two of their worst teams.
Yeah. I've heard
the 11 team.
That was the 83.
Was not good either.
Was 06 was the 82.
That was the one Carlos Marmol let them in the playoffs, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
And fucked up that game at the end, and they caught the Braves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so a couple points I want to end on with this subject. The players that have really killed the Cubs for the Cardinals are guys that are typically ones that, are just regular great players. Like the biggest one is Albert Pujols. The guy that I hate the most is probably Matt Holliday, but that stems back to when he was a Rocky too, from when he was doing slides like way out of the way and trying to take out Ryan Theriot on double play attempts.
Starlin.
Or Starlin.
He knocks Starlin into left field about 4,000 times.
Right,
the Cubs would just stand there and take it.
I'll say this. I didn't feel as strong of a hatred for Pujols, I guess Yachty a little bit just because of all the bullshit leadership stuff. But I didn't really, I couldn't drive up the hatred for Ryan Ludwig, and I was too young to really hate Jim Edmonds when he was a Cardinal.
You're You're
Yeah.
you're never too young to hate Jim Edmonds. What a fucking asshole that guy was.
Well,
I don't.
Mark
Didn't
McGuire and his enormous
didn't hate
bat
him in
boy
08.
son.
Okay, yeah, that guy. God, he's like the living embodiment of like the guy on the Mets from Rookie of the Year. Honestly,
You didn't get a good hatred up for Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Oh, definitely
He was good
hated
for
that
2
guy.
months.
When he
Stubby
ruined
Clapp.
Kyle Hendricks' no hitter the one time. I would say though, like the guys that I hate on the Brewers remind me of like the guys that I probably would have hated on the Cardinals that like were the more under the radar guys. Like the guys I hate more would be like the David Ecksteins or the David Freese or
Of course.
who's like some like Ryan Theriot when they had him and he said he was on the right side of the rivalry. You know,
I agreed. He was finally on the right side of the rivalry too, because he was gone.
Correct. Yes. But I still did at the time have a little affinity for Ryan Theriot until then.
I would say that I get your point, except for the fact that I could sit here and we should get Donahue on and we could just sit and start a long list of mediocre fucking Cardinals who were either overhyped by their fans, which is all of them, or had inexplicably good times against the Cubs. But then you can add in the guys who were the legitimate stars. Where with the Brewers, you're mostly stuck with the guys that are going to be relatively forgettable.
And
the only like memorable guy would be like Ryan Braun, and I don't know if Prince Fielder was like really that much of a Cubs killer or not. But like, the guys that really drive you crazy from the Brewers side are like the ones that are the equivalent of the kind of guys that would have drove me the craziest from those Cardinals teams. Like, you remember Kirk Neuenhuis, the center fielder they had in like 2016? That guy torched.
Yeah, I had to learn how to spell his name because he
Cubs.
kept getting big hits against the Cubs. The problem for Kirk was the Brewers couldn't beat them.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So it really didn't really matter that he would like tie games and the Cubs would have to go to extra innings to beat them. Well, that would be the difference between that. I know what you mean. To me, it's a lot of it's mostly recency, right? Like the Brewers are good right now. The Cardinals are not, and so it becomes very easy to look. I'm perfectly happy to forget about the Cardinals for as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they are terrible for a very long time. But I think we must differ in I feel like the Cubs only have one rival. They have a lot of teams that you want them to beat, but there's one rival, and it's those podunk assholes down 55.
I'll tell you this.
And it'll always be those podunk assholes down 55.
I'll tell you this, Praz. I hate the Cardinals so much that I actually have a favorite umpire. That's how much I hate them.
Wait.
I think Don Deckinger got it right. I think he got it right too. That's George Orta was scooting.
Okay.
The thing about that too
now
is
that makes sense.
They had so many chances after that to still win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they act like the winning run scored on that call, and it didn't.
It's like the Red Sox in '86, right?
It's their version of Steve Bartman. Like they had plenty of chances to still get out of that and win it, and they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is way more recent than that. Do you remember that like the Mets and the Padres for the longest time were like the two teams that like never threw a no-hitter, and then the Mets threw one against the Cardinals in like 2012. I think it was the guy who had been with the Twins forever, Johan
Santana. And they basically ended his career letting him try to get the no-hitters. He had to throw so many pitches and his arm fell out.
But I want to say there was like one like very borderline line drive that got called a foul ball, and like Cardinals fans hate that guy forever. And now I want to find out his name just to like see if Oleg will claim him as his second favorite umpire.
Oh,
the Cardinals get no hit all the time. The Cubs have only been hit no hit once in our lifetimes, right?
Yeah, just Cole Hamels. Yeah,
just Cole Hamels.
I don't. I mean, the reason why I love Don Deckinger is because it happened in the World Series.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay,
like no hitters or whatever. No hitters are kind of fun in the moment and kind of forgettable, unless it's Jake Arrieta no hitters, in which case they're the greatest games ever pitched.
The Cardinals have been no hit. They've only been no hit 9 times.
in their life ever.
I want to
First
say
one was in 1886 by Adonis Terry.
Who could forget
The
it?
great Adonis Terry.
Yeah.
Who could forget him? Christy Matheson got him once. Mal Eason. Hod Eller from the Reds. Don Cardwell of the Cubs. 1960.
Oh, yes.
Gaylord
first game
Perry.
as a Cub.
Tom Seaver. The last few have been pretty good. Tom Seaver, Fernando Valenzuela, and Johan Santana.
I want to say
Fernando's one was like a 91 or something, right? Maybe not 91.
Fernando?
Yeah.
90.
What was it?
late.
90?
It was late Fernando. Late
Yeah.
Dodger Fernando.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay, so I remember
Or
the name of the
88
guy
or
now. I want to say sneaky too. They now have one of the longest droughts of throwing a no-hitter themselves. Because the last one
the
for them
Cardinals?
was like Bud
Oh.
Smith in 01, I think
Oh,
it
yeah, I
is.
remember Bud. They lost one too. Bob Forsch had a range shortened no hitter that Fay Vincent took away because you had to and Andy Hawkins losing no hitter went away too. You had to pitch all 9 innings.
Well, Andy Hawkins was the one that he lost, right? 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jim Leyritz running around left field like he had never seen a ball or a glove before. Even Todd Hundley was laughing.
Right.
Let's see how many times have the Cubs been no hit. Fewer.
Well, I can name.
Oh,
3
Christy
off the
Matheson
top of
got
my
them
head.
both. He got the Cubs and he got the Cardinals and the Cubs.
Huh.
First one was Chick Fraser of the Phillies, 1903. You remember that? Were you there, Oleg? Did you have
I may have been.
on West Side Park?
Yeah. I think Frank
the
Miller
West
was-
Side grounds, yeah.
Yeah, I bet Noble.
Christy Matheson.
Okay.
In 05. Fred Toney of the Reds in 17. Those were all, the first 3 were all in Chicago. And then Carl Erskine got him at Ebbets Field in 52. Jim Maloney of the Reds in 65. The first game of a doubleheader. Good way to kick off a doubleheader. Maybe the most famous one was the second to last. It was the one they hadn't. It was the Sandy Koufax perfect game. 1-0.
Oh, yeah.
And
Fun fact about that game, by the way, I want to say like the Cubs pitcher on the other side threw a 1-hitter too. So there was 1 hit total that entire game.
The Ron Sano's favorite story was Glenn Beckert batted second and he struck out. And when he was walking by Sano, who was going to bat, and he goes, Sandy doesn't have his good stuff today. He threw a no-hitter, or threw a perfect game. And then Cole Hamels.
Yeah.
And that was the no-hitter that basically started the rise of the Cubs.
Yeah,
They won
true.
They won 11 of their next 13 games,
That's right.
and they were on their way.
Shout out to Chris
then Cole
Bryant
came to
2
pitch
nights
for them.
later. Yes.
That's pretty good.
then-
They've played for 150 years and only been no-hit 7 times.
And then his extension wound up being the first red flag towards the beginning of the end of that Cubs core.
Tampa Bay. Well, it was the beginning of the end because it showed they had no pitching coming. They had to keep him because their prospects had all gone tits up.
Well, the fact that like they had to like trade someone away to free up salary though to make it happen.
Yeah, that was the great what's his name? The lefty. He came back. And
True
he would have thrown
Smiley.
a no-hitter except Jan
not
Gomes
Dan
tackled it.
Straley.
I was there for that
No,
game. Yep.
I can't think of his name.
Drew
I
Smiley.
always get him and Dan
Drew
Straley.
Smiley. Yep.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Drew Smiley.
Yeah, that's right. Drew Smiley. Yeah.
They had signed him to rehab his from
Yes.
his Tommy John thing, and then they had to let him go before they could ever use him. So how about this? The Rays have only been no-hit 1 fewer times than the Cubs.
Oh, wow. Well,
In the
They
like,
used to
Joe
get
Madden
get
years-
no-hit all
Yes.
the time.
Right. There was a year I think they got no hit like 3 times, I want to say.
They got it twice in 2010.
they've been no-hit fewer than the Cubs and yet have more playoff wins than the White Sox.
Wow.
Derek Lowe, Mark Burley, Dallas Braden, Edwin Jackson, Felix Hernandez, Reed Detmers.
Edwin Jackson, huh? Wow. I forgot.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
and Edwin,
was that,
I-
like-
if I remember, Edwin walked a whole shitload.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
I
like
remember
the
that
old Joe
160
Cowley no hitter
pitch.
for the when Joe Cowley, not the guy who covered the Bulls for the Sun Times, but a different Joe Cowley. There were multiple players on the White Sox who didn't know he was throwing a no hitter because he'd walked like 8 guys.
Yeah.
There were
18
so many base runners that they didn't notice. It's not unlike Justin Grimm.
Yeah.
My favorite story about the Jake Arrieta no hitter at Dodger Stadium. hit they get the final out, the bullpen doors swing open, the guys come sprinting in. Justin Grimm is like running along, looking at everybody like, why are we so excited?
Right.
He didn't know it was a no-hitter.
AJ Burnett.
Yeah.
He thought it was a shutout. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we won. Wait, why are we sprinting in from the dugout?
AJ Burnett threw a no-hitter and walked 9 guys. I remember that when his no-hitter.
Yeah. Funny story about the Cole Hamels no-hitter against the Cubs.
Sure.
One of my best friends from high school, it was his 21st birthday on that day, and he wanted to like basically have like he was going to the Cubs game, was going to have like, run the full gamut in Wrigleyville and everything. And, that he had a couple beers at the game, obviously, but like seeing the Cubs get no hit for the first time in 50 years basically killed the entire vibe for him that day.
Oh, come on. Ah,
Yeah.
jeez.
Man.
Poor guy.
It's mostly
poor
a statistical anomaly that they had gone that long.
For
I mean,
sure.
they had so many shit teams. The fact they hadn't been no hit was like basically just
They-
like being
they-
able to avoid a
think-
meteor.
Andy, I
During
think
that
says more
stretch, they were
about-
probably shut out the most. I would
Well,
say.
and I'll say this. I think that says more about the value of a no-hitter more than anything.
So in Joe Cowley's no hitter, this was the bottom. This was him pitching against the Angels in the bottom of the 6th. Bob Boone, walk. Gary Pettis, walk. Wally Joyner, walk. Brian Downing, pop up to second. Reggie Jackson, sack fly. Doug DeCinces, fly ball to second.
Oh,
Oh, he didn't even get a
He won
shutout
that
in
was
it.
second.
No,
Jeez.
say 1-7-1. I think Jim Fregosi was his manager, I think. 86. Would that have been Fregosi?
No, 86.
No, that was
Still Tony?
Tony the year he got
sorry.
fired.
I thought you meant the Angels
Yeah,
manager.
so
And who was it that Fregosi, I think, was the interim.
it was
actually.
Fregosi. It was Fregosi. Doug Rader was the interim and then Fregosi. So, but this was late in the season.
Rooster.
So, but I'm pretty sure Fregosi was, he was going to take him out. And they didn't
Right.
do that back then. It's not like now when they're just yanking guys
Yeah.
with no hitters left and right. He basically was like, I can't watch this shit anymore. I don't care. He hasn't given up a hit. He's got to go.
If I remember right, I think the 86 White Sox was the one team that was GM by Hawk Harrelson, too.
Was Carlton Fisk in left field?
Well, yeah, because he's the one who fired La Russa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carlton was playing left.
Fucking 42-year-old.
That was great.
I got an idea. Let's put the catcher, 42-year-old catcher in left field.
Edwin Jackson, he walked 8 guys in his no-hitter. He threw 149 pitches. Was that before the Cubs got? No, it was after.
Oh, man.
Edwin, legendary good dude. His teammates love Edwin.
Is he? Yeah.
That's why
I've heard
he
that
pitched for so
before.
many teams.
Yeah.
Like he had a rubber arm. He wasn't always good, and he took the ball all the time, and guys loved to play with him. So
I wasn't
Edwin got to
mad
play
about the
forever.
Cubs signing him. Like, I wasn't.
No, it was
No,
fun. It was
not at all.
they needed to fill. He was supposed to do what he did, and that was
Yeah.
just throw innings.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose. We need
Yeah, I
somebody that we can't burn through 4 pitchers every game.
Right.
One day we have to
Look.
get a guy who goes 6, and that's gonna be Edwin.
It's not like if he was good for those Cubs teams that they would have done anything. Like that was the
No.
rebuild.
The-
So like, yeah.
The kind of
whatever.
fan who looks back at Edwin and is pissed is the Hub Arkish,
Yeah.
Al Yellen fan who
Yeah.
couldn't
Right.
grasp what they were doing, couldn't understand why they were bad, and that there was a means to an end that was so obvious that if you had a brain in your head, you understood what they were doing. But they were like, "Well, this team sucks." It's like, yeah, it's supposed to suck.
Yeah.
And it'll come out the
Right.
other end. It'll be fine. And it actually worked. And it worked a lot faster than it had any right to. And there's still people that were pissed. It's like
Well, it's because the things.
they
Shout
punted
out to my
2
buddy
seasons,
Peter.
basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
More
They were
than
doing
two,
it by
please.
accident more
11,
than
12,
that.
13? Or
Right.
12, 13?
12,
Well,
13.
Theo
14
takes
was not a
over
great
in
year, but
12.
14,
14,
If
you
you-
see
if-
the ascension, like you see it
Yeah.
starting. And
Right.
there might be some stuff in that
okay.
book.
I can't wait. I will
Exactly.
say this. It's
They didn't have they had a bad record. Under Ricky, they had a bad record. They were like 77 and something, or 73 wins maybe. But when the season ended, it didn't feel like that. It felt like you could kind of see it. Like this is going to work. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
Are they going to win a World Series? We didn't know, but they were going to be good.
I mean, this is how I feel now about the Bears and the Blackhawks. Like
Yeah.
this is
a
like
good way to see
they're ascending. Like people get pissed off about the Blackhawks now. I feel the same.
Bears are 6-3. They're in first place in the North.
Yeah, no,
they're going to win. They're going to win
the
the Super Bowl this year.
Whoa! I'm not suggesting anything. I meant last year Bears. Like whoa! Back up. But it's the same thing with the Blackhawks, especially the Blackhawks. And there's so many similarities because the rebuild's probably a little bit longer in hockey because you have a bunch of 18-year-olds who need to play to be 22 to get good. But that's sort of the thing with the Blackhawks rebuild. Is anybody who gets mad at them now? Like, I get it, it's frustrating, but it's like, come on. Like, you know what was going on. You knew that this whole thing started 3 years ago. You knew that it was going to take 5 years, and that's exactly what's happening. It's right in the middle. Now, it could still fail. There's no guarantees, obviously, but it's just like there were no guarantees with the Cubs. Like, if Addison Russell allegations come out a year before they did, like, they're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Honestly, I know that, you know, there's a lot more people.
Jack gives out when he's 24 instead of when he's 26. Right. Like, there's so many things that could have gone wrong. And frankly, like, you didn't know what you were getting. The Arrieta trade was the luckiest thing that accelerated the rebuild. Was getting Arrieta and Stroke. And nobody could have predicted that because the Orioles would have traded him, obviously. So there's so many things that just sort of happened for the Cubs that they Chris Bryant falling in their lap. Yeah. Like, I know that it takes, you still have to take advantage of the opportunity, but so many things accelerated that rebuild that it makes it even sillier for the people who were like, oh, like, what the fuck's taking so long?
I mean, the biggest thing they had to overcome was that Ian Happ wasn't born 4 years earlier, so he wasn't part of it.
How did they do it?
Because could you imagine the dominance?
Oh my God!
We'll on a left fielder back then.
We'll on a future episode get into that a little bit, especially
the alternate universe where Ian Happ is 4 years older.
Well, when it comes to Ian Happ and some of the teams that preceded his arrival to the big leagues, as a reason why I have a distaste for Ian Happ.
I'd rather think about a parallel universe where Arsmendi Alcantara is actually an all-star second baseman. Like, that's much more fun.
Arismendi was fun. He was at a game in 2015. He got a walk-off hit against the Reds.
Oh.
Yep.
In 2015? Really?
Like, very early in 2015.
He was still playing at 15.
Oh. Like, when they still had those, like, paintings of Ernie Banks in the bleachers covering them up while they were under construction.
I mean, who could forget? I mean, that 2015 team had some real, like, Mike Baxter. Don't forget Mike Baxter.
Oh, God. When I first found your podcast with Brat, I remember, like, that was a guy you guys really went in on.
It was just fun to make fun of him because, like, we knew he wasn't any good, but he was inexplicably, like, useful for a little while. Like, they needed Mike Baxter in early 2015.
Who did you have a podcast with?
Brat.
Oh, Brat. Yeah. That's who you said. I think you said someone else. Sorry, Price.
Yep. Whew. All right. Well, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
We weren't.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to feel attacked, Praz. We were.
Yeah.
No,
sorry,
it's
man.
Fine.
Because I completely understand. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But if I were younger,
that works.
I would not. I'm sure I wouldn't be quite as cardinal
dismissive of the Brewers. I think that it is a generational thing because, like, living through the '80s.
Well, and I was a Brewers season ticket holder for 2 years, and I know they're no threat.
Oh.
Well, partial 20 games.
Yeah.
It's an easy drive from here.
Yeah, fair enough.
We always picked the plan with the most Cub games in it, and we would just $10 a ticket, and we split a $20 parking pass. It was $20 to go up there.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
you couldn't go up there for a fraction of that now.
That's I remember
that shit.
I guess.
Plus the food, very good.
Yeah,
yes, the food at Miller Park is excellent.
I will tell you this. I remember I think it was 07, 08. Maybe it was 08, 09. No, it had to be 07, 08. When the Blackhawks were still trying to fill the United Center, I bought a 6-game pack. I was making like $50,000 a year working at CDW, and I was like, I remember buying a 6-game package, $15 a piece for tickets. I bought 2 tickets to 6 games.
Wow.
So that cost me like $300, no less.
180
30 times $680 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they sent me a puck that I could get signed by any player. So I Big Patrick Kane.
Nice.
And it was
That's
it was awesome. Like, it was just so fun to go to those games, and they were kind of on that upswing, and it was cheap. It was like, after work, hop on the Madison bus and head over to United Center. It was great.
For sure. I would say, like, one last thing to wrap up the whole talking point about the Brewers is that, like, because geographically they are as close as they are, I feel like that might have something to do with it. Maybe if I lived somewhere in central Illinois where it was a more bigger blend of Cubs and Cardinals fans and had to deal with them on a daily basis, I would be more apt to, go that direction. And just the fact that, like, I already kind of hate the other two teams that play in Wisconsin a lot too.
Sure.
In the Packers and the Bucks. So, like,
why
not make it a full monopoly on the entire city?
I thought you meant the Milwaukee
or
Admirals.
on the entire state, I guess you could say.
Praz, the way that you're talking, I'm not convinced that if you lived in downstate Illinois that you wouldn't be a Cardinals fan.
I would never be a Cardinals fan. Promise you that.
There's a lot of Cardinals fans in downstate Illinois.
Oh yeah, they're more. That's more Cardinal territory than Cub territory down there.
It's so much.
My brother-in-law was born in Peoria, and he's a Cardinal fan.
Yeah, so much so that I want to say, like, a couple of years ago, I remember a lot of people getting pissed about this, that for some of the vanity plates you could buy in Illinois, they offered the Cardinals too.
Yeah, you can get a Cardinal one.
Yeah.
Jesse White wasn't turning down revenue.
Right. I don't think Illinois is in any position to
turning away from his Cubs minor league roots. Jesse White, come on.
Frankly, I don't think. I think, frankly, at this point, if they could put Milwaukee Brewers license plates on vanity plates, they would do it.
Well, they probably would. I think part of my tolerance for the Brewers is that I grew up. I always liked Bob Uecker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is, a legendary figure that you got to respect. No
but
matter
he's dead
who
now.
You're a fan of.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy.
Did you have it? Well, do you remember
I finally
having
finished him off?
Yeah, there you go. Do you remember having any sort of affinity at all for Jack Buck during that same time? Would you say?
No. Although, honestly, Jack, I think, was actually a pretty good dude.
For sure.
He loved Harry. Harry and him got along famously.
Oh, I bet.
Right.
I'll say this. There's not. I think back. So when my family immigrated to the United States, don't tell ICE, back in 1980.
It's too late. They're all listening to this.
We moved to St. Louis first, and amongst my friends, quite famously, I was a bit of a Cardinals fan when I first got into baseball in 1982. So that World Series was like my opening into baseball. I was living in St. Louis. I was a dumbass 10-year-old kid. What the hell did I know? And that was a hell of a World Series. Like,
I was rooting for the Brewers because even as a 9-year-old, I hated the Cardinals already.
Oh God! Well, I mean, I would have too if I would have lived. I was literally living in St. Louis.
And I definitely would have rooted for the Brewers at that time too, because plus
we went to beautiful County Stadium. I think it was that year. Maybe it was '83.
Right. But that was the
what a palace!
But that was the thing about moving to Chicago, is it was really quick to figure out. Because in '84, it was just so easy to become a Cubs fan when you're a kid and you don't know any better and you don't have any family ties to it because they were on during the day. And it's the usual story about how people become Cubs fans when they don't inherit it. But it was so easy to just turn into a hatred of the Cardinals. But even the 82 Brewers teams, I do remember that. Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't know what to root for. Like, I'm going to root for the Cardinals. I live in St. Louis. Like, Gorman Thomas was just so much fun. And Vukovic, what's his name?
Right.
It wasn't Pete Vukovic.
Pete.
Was it Vukovic? Yep.
Wait, who was the guy who was on the
There was
Cubs?
a George.
George. Okay,
There was a George.
That's right.
And that was Pete.
Thanks. So Pete Vukovic, he was fun. Like, he had that.
You had Cecil Cooper and
and Ben
Jim
Ogilvy. Gantner
and Robin Yount, Paul Molitor.
Yep. Yount and Molitor. I mean, that was it. That was those.
Ben Ogilvy, Gorman Thomas.
Yeah.
Who's the other outfielder? You had Darryl Porter.
Yeah, those big
half in the bag.
No, hold on. Darryl Porter was on the Cardinals in '82.
Oh, that's right. Darryl Porter. That's right. I always get that confused.
Yeah.
Darryl was never a Brewer. He was a Royal.
Ted
Simmons is the one who played for both. And Hall of Famer Ted Simmons was a catcher for the Brewers. You're right.
Yes.
I remember as a kid, Don Sutton's perm really freaked me out. I didn't know why he had a
Raleigh
perm.
Fingers with the amazing mustache when you're like 10 years old. That's like the coolest thing in the world. I don't know. Those
Yeah,
Brewers
that was a fun team.
I'll tell you this. The other thing, Praz, I think the other reason why I think it's a generational thing is I guarantee you wouldn't feel this way if the Brewers were still in the American League. And maybe you said that earlier.
Oh, absolutely, I wouldn't.
And
no,
so
they'd be irrelevant to me.
I think that's kind of the part of it is that
but
just like there's way more history of hating the Cardinals for Andy and I and anybody our age. Obviously.
But that does go into it, and one of the first points I brought up.
Yeah.
They specifically requested to come into the National League because they wanted to boost their attendance in games they'd get against the Cubs. And now they're so against that they do this stupid pre-sale.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad to root for a team that can be hated so pettily.
Right.
Is that a word? Like it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my view of that team that they hate the Cubs, right? Like I said, there's
I can almost wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
That we're such good fans that they actually have to go to safeguards to keep us from overtaking their park.
Yeah, that's kind of right.
Robin Yount was worth 10.5 WAR in 1982. He
was amazing. He won the MVP, right?
Change.
He was amazing.
That was not long after he threatened to quit baseball to become a professional dirt bike driver. Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. And also the 82 Brewers, Harvey Keene famously was their manager, the Harvey's Wallbangers, but he was not the first manager that year. They fired a manager.
Did they really?
So do you know who that guy was? He was a famous what would you say? He was a science fiction space captain too. Buck Rogers.
Oh,
Buck Rogers was 23 and 24 when they whacked him, and Harvey took over, and they went 72 and 43.
That was right before. Buck Rogers went on? Wait, hold on. I might be getting.
Yeah, he
Buck
managed
Rogers.
the Expos. That's right.
Oh, he did manage the Expos. Okay, with Steve and Steve Rogers was on the Expos at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought for a second I was getting Steve Rogers and Buck Rogers mixed up, but I wasn't. Okay.
Is that your dad? And Andre Dawson kept asking, "Is that your dad?" No, that's not my dad.
Right.
All right. One final thing. I don't know if you guys watched it, but the Montreal Expos. Did we mention this last time? The Montreal Expos documentary is really good on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't remember. I never remember what we talk about on the pod or before or after the pod.
It's really good. Go listen to it. Go watch it.
I've heard good things about it.
Who killed
the Montreal Expos? Yep. Right.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
it is. I have started it. I'm probably about like 20 minutes in. I guess the one thing I'll say is like it's something you kind of got to be watching intently because all the people are speaking in French and it's subtitled. So,
well, you should watch it that way, but you don't have to. You can on your Netflix, you can change the language and you can see it dubbed. If you don't want to read it, you can listen to it. And the guy they have Pee Wee Herman doing all the voices, but.
Oh, perfect.
The other thing, Andy, this is just for you and anybody else out there. James Acaster's coming to Chicago next year.
Is he?
Yes. Tickets are on sale. I got a pair for me and whoever my date is. But Chicago Theater.
Me? You're asking me?
I am not asking you yet.
Oh,
yeah,
they're your own damn tickets.
I don't know if it's a new show or an ultra, but on YouTube just today, I was served up a clip from a show called Hypothetical, which he co-hosts. And they have, I don't know how many British panel shows with comedians they can possibly have, but this is another one where they have two teams of two comedians and him and a sidekick who was also on Taskmaster around that scene. I can't think of his name. He actually won the season he was on.
Okay.
They throw out hypothetical situations to the comedians and they have to, and the clip I saw was very funny. It was about what would you, if you had to go back to Victorian England with no possessions you had, and 4 of you were going to go back, and the one who made the most money got to come back. The rest had to live there forever. And what is her name? Veronica Corning Mitchell. I got her name wrong. She won because she immediately said she would just become a prostitute. And she goes, they were, and I would make a lot of money. They were so like the Victorian era. they were so prudish about things that they literally would cover the legs of pianos at concerts so that men wouldn't become aroused by the exposed legs of the pianos. It was a pretty good show. I don't know if it's one that was on and failed. His hair is odd in it, so I don't know if he let it grow out recently or if this is 3 years old. But yeah, the show was called Hypothetical. It looked pretty funny. All right.
That's the one bad thing about watching all of these shows as short clips is I don't really get the names of people right away.
Yeah.
So it takes me a little while to figure out who people are, but it's really good. I also saw something the other day.
Many of us have herpes.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
It's fitting. It's got to be done with one of the best games of all time. Just unbelievable. Got to congratulate the Dolan family.
Thank you. Sean, my podcast co-host Andy, you were his favorite player growing up.
Oh, thank you so much,
Awesome.